people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneas might have been the last one.
Vache.
Looks like we're back here again. Huh? Traveler? Are you hearing voice? Ugh. That's kinda spooky. Are you sure we don't want to come back in the morning?
Vache? Vache.
They ain't saying the R. Vache. Vache. Oh. Thump. Oh. Vache. Oh, okay.
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? There might be something nasty in the water. Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kinda hear a voice. It's calling for Vache, right? Hey, traveler! Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Am I dreaming? It's an ocean.
Vache, are you my dear Vache?
Absolutely.
No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Do you know where my love is? Wait. Who am
You're
I?
an ocean.
I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know. My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten? Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who is lost, therefore. I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water. I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places of peril. No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me. And I also loved him equally as much. But now, we can no longer go back.
So you need me to find him?
No! Our reunion no longer has any meaning. There is no way for us to create any new memories. The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember. Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vache above the surface. His eyes were filled with such sorrow, such longing. If only I could have comforted him, told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had... Is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything, I consider it a form of release. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace, like the water's still surface. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and anxiety. I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think. Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, if you see Vache, tell him not to seek me out any longer.
Okay.
Wake up! Come on, hurry!
Huh?
Navi is outnumbered!
Oh, what is happening? What did I wake up to? Are the machines are rebelling?
Jamore's out! Look out! Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Chlorand? Quick, now's our chance! I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Chlorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge...
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same, were he alive today.
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
So is she like a secret bodyguard?
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought...
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means, deploying them as a private force of sorts.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating, no matter what. Regardless, thank you for your help.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was...
I know, she's...
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were done for! Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us! Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too! We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. As such, we're still partners.
It will take 50 years for me.
If it were me, I would have joined these people.
All right, you two. That's enough.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure did show up in the nick of time.
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed to that?
Yes. All thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
How did that happen?
Yeah, how did that help?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said. That the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off.
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Yes. So if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grand...
Huh. Really?
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate, but whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger, and hurried here as quickly as I could.
But why would they go after us too? All we did was—
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process. Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too! But it was real. Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sense—
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
New intel? While you were out
Yeah,
cold?
talk to an oceanid.
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh, that is important. Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate.
By we, you mean us two.
Oh, you mean...
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased.
You talk too much. Well, in that case, we also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners.
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base...
With you two, just you two? That's it? Just the two of you? Man, I didn't even get to fight.
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure we weren't followed first.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone suspicious thus far.
Very good. But let's not let our guard down for now.
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
Thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue, Traveler.
Oh, wait, I remember being under here. There's a kitty down here. It's not fair. I want to pet the kitty.
So, this is your base?
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstance...
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that does sound like it's worth it.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite his equal.
Your father... He was the previous...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me.
No. I'll explain it myself. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets. 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence. But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena. 3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself. The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial
So that's why you're so...
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated. However, I believe that if the murder... I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his... If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive.
Here we got it. We got cliche number 1. Parent has to die to motivate the heroine.
He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me.
It's gonna make your heroic story even more, potent.
And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you?
Demoiselle, please.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our...
Wait! If Callus was such a good man...
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something... People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
But how could... never mind. If...
There is one other thing.
Oh! Her? Well, then... isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who... Yeah... That's not the...
Miss Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected. There was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel.
You do?
You don't have to force yourself to do that.
Afterward, Miss Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure... Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. All right. Anyway, that's the information I want. Thanks.
Yeah.
Please, relax and get some sleep.
Paimon slept, huh? Navia? Where did...
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not...
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that.
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere.
Suspicious.
I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this.
Does that mean we're...
No. There is one ray of hope. One place and that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. If the Oceanette you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some...
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of case files? Whew. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we? Aren't you coming along, Navia?
No, it's nothing. It's right up ahead. Come on.
So yeah. Oh, my nose. As I'm a one-man edit team with 0 experience, so. How do we know where to go?
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice. Huh. This place does.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Paimon can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you...
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Wow, that was easy.
Thanks so much.
Please come in.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
So you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk
Paimon,
to?
he can hear you.
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Traveler, what if it was...
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. It's just like last time. After my father took his place, you even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case. Yet in your eyes, the value of a human life
you're gonna
truly
get us
reflects
in
my
trouble.
father's death. Then why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his everything was hanging on a thread at that moment? Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, Miss...
You and my father are truly alike. It's not so much that you can't feel. Oh well.
I don't want to hear your
And
drama.
my
I just met
apologies
you.
for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Gonna get us arrested. I don't think Lenny and Lynette will take our case.
Navia,
I'm fine.
you're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted—
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why, that thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one—
I really think Alright, let's go to—
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head—
Let's go now.
Great.
If we wait, it'll probably be days.
Whoa, what a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
There's no need to be so surprised. Well, my father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps a gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group was such a hit, but now that Paimon has seen this ship for her—
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all.
I think that's above ground.
Melus, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Melus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call—
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
So it was a drug.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water—
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, if you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety, while lacking energy to do anything. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse, and called—
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath. But no matter how much they threatened, or not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we— Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. I think this third person. On that note, however, even though this will not— our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, there is no need to follow your father's path.
If that's indeed what he wished for, was I not the closest person to him? What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death? I've never accepted that. Ever. I want to find out the real answer for everyone.
Navia.
This is indeed the best
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between— But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, Demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
So he was protecting you.
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live, and the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict, but once knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right. So nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful were still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. No. He might have set up everything. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, but thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really— Malus, What was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. When he was threatening the enemy, boss didn't but if you want to use it against the enemy...
Why? If we know where the
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a There's no telling what might... But a single visit to their headquarters would be The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
I'll go in. They don't know me.
Then, in that case, why not?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea.
That's true. But things are different now. It should...
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Maloose.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability...
Thank you for all of that, Maloose. Have you discovered anything?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that when I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people. The first is Florent, Spina de Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well.
Which means that he could stab Boss in the back, since he was trusted.
Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost, there's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it. In the beginning, they were only reselling.
So, they're like a sister?
Yes, you can say that. It's a bit difficult to...
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina de Rosula. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite... To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from...
Of course. And thank you, Maloose. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still... If it might help, you could also...
Aw, thank you so much, Maloose.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover...
Alright, another case. Yippee-ki-yay. It's on the downstairs, man.
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Maloose.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Look at that kid. She's looking at us all suspiciously.
Oh.
Hey, Navia's all
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand.
You don't understand at all.
Yep, here we go.
I didn't know how to face you. Because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me?
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons. Regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword, he must have done so to give you a better life.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth. The current state of things is not something I'm willing to just sit back and accept.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florence should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callus was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callus's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callus was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callus had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned, do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill, so he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callus ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malus told me a thing or two, so I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. Callus's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing, the whole Callus the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today.
He sure knows how to talk.
No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Intel is just like teachers. Got it, yes?
Oh, you're right here. I'm looking for you, sir.
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the Guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callus did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way.
Well, that doesn't sound ominous.
It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you...
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
He's suspicious. I think it was him.
Hello. How may I help you?
I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can...
Sure. I will let him know right away.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
So you only heard one gunshot.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
What about
Sounds
the second
good.
gunshot?
Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
This can work. I'll just treat them as new samples.
Hey, I'm climbing.
We've talked to all three suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
They all sounded suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
Huh. So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the Order and seek protection from my father. Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
If we're talking about wealth, it'd be Marcel.
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects. Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child.
Money can do wonders, you know.
Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business? Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security.
Exactly.
So he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
Yeah, that's how he gets help from the boss.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Nah.
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Thierry, you say? Huh. It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex for personal use. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering under wraps.
You are horrible at this, milady.
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check of the guard's inventory. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Who could it be?
I still say it's Marcel. He's got the money. He can get the men.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
There he's got guards on his back, so he couldn't exactly do everything. Florent has finances and knowledge. But Marcel's got the money, and he could always pay someone who knows what they're doing. I say it's all three of them.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he laid out his case for the three, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extreme. We need far more solid proof before—
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
Yeah, exactly.
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
Child, how?
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
Child, did you get yourself arrested just so you could
He's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. It's absurd, don't you think?
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had—
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Right, because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Yeah, and it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
Guys, remember the newspaper lady? Every time they say they found the true criminal, another girl disappears.
I understand. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just since this is a trial, you're right. This is our best. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to—
We'll help you.
Mademoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malus, Silver.
We heard that it's our hope that...
See you then!
My gosh, child. You can't stay out of trouble for one whole Archon quest?
Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. Huh. According to Malus's info, the synth production base is underwater.
Alrighty then,
let's go and try to find the entrance.
Hold on, we need something. Come here. Thank you.
Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production. Ah, you're right. Navia's probably...
Child, how do you go about that? Did you seriously get yourself arrested so you could duel? You don't even have your vision.
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right?
Seriously?
In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received.
You don't even have your vision. Did you forget you gave it to us?
When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey, don't you understand?
It doesn't matter.
You're currently.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me. Then why don't you duel me too?
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is... In that case, let me explain everything from...
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man.
Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Heart.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceeding, but that was an exception rather than standard court protocol.
Oh, please. Did you ever we can put that discussion aside for now. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia...
Oh, a young lady has charged... So, Your Honor, is there nothing else...
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted.
Child, quit trying to take the heat just to fight.
Now then, Miss Navia, who...
That person is...
We want to say Marcel, right? He's got the money to do the, big guys who attacked us in the square. He's also in the inner circle of the whole thing. And money talks.
Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières!
Huh? What confrérie?
I've heard of them, but weren't they
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
She's so excited.
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that... And if the charge...
Yes, I do.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, members of the guards. Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney. Is that correct?
Apologies. It all just... I think an attorney won't be necessary.
Very well. In that case, since...
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years only through elucidating what really happened.
Navia, do you really think... Come on. Why would I do that? Callus, if that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make
I think exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun. The guards' investigation did not recover any other... The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and Callus was defeated by Champion These are the known facts about
That was the thing. Marcel said he only heard gunshot. There's 2.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques still had no reason to pull the trigger. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained...
Yes, true. 2 gunshots. According to this guy, he said he only heard 1. Guest arrives and seen found holding the gun. Did not bring a gun with them.
This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead.
Correct.
A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by but now it is clear that the clothes were proof. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. However, unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder.
So that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and...
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime.
Ah, but I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Then, may I ask some questions? 1. Do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
I'm afraid not. Boo! I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all—
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. Then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved,
They didn't know.
He could have at least—
I thought about this too. And the answer is actually the dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is my father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right, but what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by staying silent, we retained the ability— I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, and once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will—
So, you mean to say—
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clarand. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand—
So, during the...
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others passionate, and some even manic and twisted. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more...
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the...
Right? What she said was fascinating.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases, in my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. And, at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. I'm used to it, though. You've always been
No need to appeal to...
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if on top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control...
Don't know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might... Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by it? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived, but the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize,
No.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Seems like she got the wrong guy. At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings, but aren't you going against... He wished for you to become more rational, once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things.
This isn't just about me. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost many people's images, and whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher?
Huh.
Oh, yeah. Is he Vacher?
Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say...
I was waiting for you to say that.
Wait, is he Vacher? That would explain everything. Oh, where am I? Are we inside? We are. Oh, we're blocked. I can't explore? Rude.
The wind knows me. Gather! Flicker.
Whoa! The floor is going up! Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place.
Ooh, a chest.
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way.
There isn't a way on the ground.
Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll mechanism that'll show us the way up.
Man, so we got these big things. I can't go around. Oh, I see. Come here, give it to me. I'm not close enough. Why, thank you, crabs. You're lots of help. Oh, it's filling with water.
The water level is rising. Now we can swim to the top. But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
It's okay, there's probably another one.
Solidify! One with nature. Here. Here. Stabilize.
Here you are.
Gather.
As one with wind and cloud.
Scatter.
Noise.
Now the path is clear. Let's go.
Whoa. Kind of boring, there's no fish. Alrighty then.
The wind knows me.
Flicker.
Solidify! Order guide you.
Here you are.
One with nature. Time to go. Falling leaves, adorn my nut.
Flames, purge!
The process of elimination.
Gather!
Flicker.
There you machine guns. Whoa. Man, this is a lot of effort. For what?
Whew. After all that, we finally made it to the innermost sanctum. Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here. That's right. Then let's
All these chests.
What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box.
It's a con.
Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all the... Huh? You mean the girls from the... And then they were... And all the boxes of things. These names. Let's see what's written here. Nothing escaped... Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an Yep. This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he can act whenever he wants to make up. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. They're all just so evil.
Look at all these bottles.
Whoa. There's so much synth here. And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of... Mixing in progress. Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's... What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for... Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea, and use it. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved.
Calm down, Paimon.
Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's... How can someone write something that terrible in such a... You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he did all of... Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. You mean Vache is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's it! Vache was no victim, but personally took his lover and... No, that's not it either! If that's the case, why would... In any case...
Is this the water? Oh, we can't go in. Well, that's annoying.
Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water! That means this is where they make all the synth! If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth! Paimon will take notes on this encrypt...
That's all we need?
We've looked at almost everything here, and it... Yeah! We haven't found anything that reveals it. No wonder even Nervalette was that way. Even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to... Sure thing.
It's all of women's belongings. Models. Still looking for it. Let me go in there. Ooh, that's a black substance when I look at it. I don't know where to go. No, the answer is back here. Where? Oh, where do you these go, man? If I had noticed that.
You take that side and Paimon will take this side. Ugh. Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either. Whoa, really? Let Paimon see.
Ooh, it's a book.
Venier. Isn't that Vache's lover's name? Then you found her diary. Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story.
I don't know what that says.
So many! A whole page's worth! The final name she Marcel! Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vache and Venier's grown son? Hey!
Come on, Paimon, we gotta get back.
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vache?
Huh.
Oh, so
I've merely...
I was waiting.
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
Nervalette, we aren't lawyers and you still let us be lawyers.
It's all right, Monsieur Nervalette. Given their confidence,
Is it this?
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vache.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything! After your lover, Venier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you! You even created Marcel as a new identity, and destroyed all records of your past as Vache!
So that's it. Even the villains in opera. And with that, Marcel's
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination...
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this?
Snapping.
pay attention to you. What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vignier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all.
Did she fall into it by accident?
Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever. You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Vignier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow. But I'm not from this blasted place, so I can't be dissolved, no matter what I do.
What is he doing?
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go! I did all of that. And in the end, that accursed Callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me!
If they're from Fontaine, he's got Primrose water with it.
I promise. We met Vignier. Vignier! Please, Vignier!
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have... The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover, Vignier. During an underwater expedition, Vignier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignier back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, after exchanging blows with Spina de Rasula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all. The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher.
I'm gonna be so mad if he says he's innocent when he literally murdered so many people.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, guilty.
Goodness.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Farina, they're Fontaine people.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial disappeared.
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such—
Yippee! We helped Navia bring the bad guy to justice! He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's finally getting what he deserves. Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely brilliant.
She's turning into
The day
water.
our late boss had always hoped for has finally come.
Yeah. See, Papa?
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught,
Child.
justice has been served, past wrongs have... Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to. So, if you'll excuse me...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
Ugh, what now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the...
Please respect the laws of Fontaine.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there.
It's gonna say he's guilty.
Through evidence presented in the public, the guilty party has been identified. We now turn to the
It's gonna say child is guilty. Of what?
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'un guilty.
What?
Guilty of what? We already proved who it was, and he confessed.
Hey! That's not funny! What's with this verdict? Is your...
Huh? This has never happened before.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui?
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't...
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal. Guards, please take...
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Child.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
He's a harbinger. You gotta let him go. And he's using the delusion.
He's activating his spell legacy!
You gotta stop him.
I am sorry.
Dang, he took him down
If you
one
have been
hit.
wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
He got hurt.
Hey, Monsieur Novelette, what's going on? Shouldn't it?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of... All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I don't know what happened there.
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but...
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
Oh, she's on the spot.
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow... Don't tell me. You thought...
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea.
However, given the state of things, I shall give and... of course. For if you thought Child had nothing to do with the series, everything he's done, all shall be... Now,
Oh my gosh.
having said that, although I...
So she chose to make her escape after...
So you're saying we...
She probably just put on that performance. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case.
All right. Even though we feel pretty bad, after all, he's done...
Well, I guess we're gonna have to visit Child in prison now. Oh, excuse me.
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing
Why
over
not?
here?
We can't dissolve. What are you scared of?
Stop resisting arrest!
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear them? I erased all records of that name.
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? The Fountain of Lucine? Then... Please give me a chance to talk to her.
Gone.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think...
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him...
This request...
Of course! Wait, no.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct? Very well.
Your Honor,
I will go with him. You do not...
Thank you.
She's gone, Basha. She told us that you should leave. So she's gone. She's no longer here.
Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you just drink a lot of it on the stage as well?
Vache.
Ah!
Yes, that's it. So you heard it too.
Vinier, it's me! It's me, Vache!
Vache? Vache.
I'm here! I'm here!
Hey, wait!
Vinier, is that you? It's me, Vache! Vinier!
Vache? Why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me. You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 all this time. Only the thought, I must be dreaming. Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live.
But Vache, if you...
What are you saying?
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of your selfishness, Vache. It's all because of you.
Wait, you are not Vinier. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vinier. I am the sacrifices. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is Vinier.
Why?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist. The only thing you are not is Vinier's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vinier's, she has had nothing but pure hatred for you.
Dang, rude.
No,
You still don't understand. But on top of that, she also said that because... She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Vache.
Vache? Vache. 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 Drown.
Huh? He died of massive fright? The heck? I mean, then again, no. Yeah, okay.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Well met, partner. I knew.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's been a...
Oh, now that I believe.
Sounds like...
It's just been one thing after the other. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never this time, though. Everyone...
So his name's definitely...
It's been the dearest wish.
That black... Oh, by the way, I ran into well, maybe it'd be more accurate.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina... I believe the story was called... To be fair, though, she was trying to lean on our...
Oh yeah, she told us about...
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when...
Now that's another thing to look forward to.
Oh, and in other news...
Oh, are you two...
While you were investigating Vache's, it was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide.
Oh, that's great!
Anyway, now that the case is actually...
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave. And on top of that... that includes me, too.
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
We want to go too!
Sure thing.
And in that case, everyone...
Yeah, you're right. This is where my father's grave is.
Huh? There's someone there already.
Hmm?
Isn't that Nervalette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navia?
My apologies. I should have asked.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying... I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still...
In that case, I will stop.
You really could... In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Well, there was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature. Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. But Mr. Callis proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and for many people completely unrelated to him. And in the end, from a certain perspective, a justice that's higher.
Navia, let's not disturb them for now. Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave, but... Huh? Oh no! Paimon hopes Anyway, Nervalette is still standing.
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Navia invite you to come pay your respects to her father?
We ran into Navia on the streets today.
I see. Then...
Well,
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the favor.
Do you know anything about the prophecy? Child
That
is
the sea
Tui
levels will
Harbinger.
rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne. Does that appropriately summarize?
That's right!
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world.
A prophecy? Of the form?
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels and the ability of the people. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quiet. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this
But with Farina being the way she is...
Is there anything else? Your sibling. Another blonde. If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter and had no... Is there anything else you'd...
Alright, what do you think about Child?
My apologies. However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
But you...
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this for a long time.
So you think it made
So
its
when
own
Winnie
decision?
told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the Oratrice's core is stored...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a... Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going... While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret... If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly...
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Yeah. That's right, he would only want to fight with you.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
No, you're not gonna know much about the Pernod seawater. But I suppose we should ask.
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that...
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vache and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after... There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that...
Huh. So it really was...
But today, the primordial sea no... What Vache discovered must have been some kind of special case.
Huh. So that's how it is.
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life... To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of the... Is there anything else?
I have no more questions.
Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what... It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility.
You really are super...
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so...
Alright, you've got a point. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped. Yep, here's the room, and it's empty and waiting for us as promised. Now that the serial disappearances case, why don't we stay and rest up here for a while? Even machines in Fontaine need to stop and recharge now and then. Oh, come on! This place isn't that bad. Oh, fine, fine. Remember that detective story Paimon read before? Well, the author is about to release a new book, so Paimon wanted to buy it as soon as it came out and have a quiet...
She's excited for the book. It's the only thing she cares about right now.
Paimon didn't expect that style at all. Even though it's a no?
Excuse me, but do you know if the Traveler and Paimon are lodging here?
Nope.
Huh? Who are you? Paimon doesn't...
A blonde traveler and a chatty little fairy.
Hey, what do you mean by chatty? Paimon's always careful not to talk too much. Most of the time, anyway.
It's an honor to meet you both. I was sent from the Palais Mermonia.
Nivelette? He wants to see us again already?
I am not privy to
if you say...
Now that I've delivered the message, I'll take my leave.
Thanks! We haven't left the room for a few days. Mirabelette! We're here! Did you want to see us about something? Huh? Why were you just standing there? You did?
Yes, I did send someone to fetch you. But as for what I'd like to discuss next, well, I still have some reservations.
Given that we've already made the trip here, you should just tell us. Bet you need us to help you with something, right?
I do indeed have something I'd like to ask you to do. However, you should wait until after I tell you the details, then decide for yourselves whether you'd like to help or not. The situation is this. It has come to my attention that the Snezhnayan Harbinger known as the Knave wants a diplomatic meeting with you, correct?
Oh?
I heard that she was originally from Fontaine.
Oh?
But for her to suddenly arrive here and abruptly request such a meeting like this...
Is she talking about the Harbinger that you guys took in for prisoner? Oh?
I sincerely advise you to refuse her invitation outright. I'm sure you're aware that her purpose is most likely related to Child's recent predicament. We convicted one of the Snezhnayan Harbingers in a court of law, but we have yet to provide any form of detailed report on the matter. This does indeed provide an opportunity for Snezhnaya to put pressure on us. I believe we should adopt an evasive stance until we can provide a proper explanation and have a preliminary plan on how to deal with the matter.
No, we shouldn't. I think we should agree to the meeting.
Huh?
Oh?
Well, you see, we are the ones that owe an explanation. If we keep putting off the meeting, it could easily result in the problem escalating, right? It's like a fight between two friends. If they don't agree to see each other and talk in person, isn't it possible that the friendship could end entirely?
Though diplomatic relations between Fontaine and Snezhnaya could be considered as friendly, it is only superficially so. You wouldn't go so far as to say that our nations are friends, as you did in your...
It was just in an...
Moreover, even if we were to talk in person, if we don't have sufficient information...
I don't think we should overthink those possibilities yet. Besides, you'll be at the meeting. If any problems do pop up...
I must clarify that interacting and communicating with people outside of court is not my cup of tea. It seems you think too much of me. But more importantly, when did I agree to join the meeting with you?
You mean you won't come? No, that won't do. I can't go to the meeting alone. You have to accompany me. I must take you with me.
Lady Farina, could there be something else regarding this matter that is being kept from me?
No, not at all. Look, I am the Hydro-Archon of Fontaine, Focalor, the god of justice who is loved and adored. So I only hope that justice...
Though it could officially be considered a diplomatic conference, I prefer to see our meeting today as an ordinary tea party. I assume you see it the same way, Miss Farina? Lady Farina?
Yes, that's right. Just like you said, a tea party. I should thank you for providing the pastries. They look delectable. To make this tea party even more like...
It's a pleasure to meet you, Monsieur Neuvillette. I was born in Fontaine, so naturally there...
Hello. The pleasure is also mine.
First, I would like to thank the two of you. I'm often away on business outside of Fontaine, and I'm told that the children of the House of the Hearth have been well taken care of by you.
Yeah, and accused of murder, but...
Oh, I'm not referring to when my children, Linny and Lynette, were falsely accused by you. Please don't misunderstand. The children of the House of the Hearth are often misunderstood, perhaps due to the reputation of the Fatui. There's no getting around that. All I meant to say is that Fontaine has been stable in recent years. The people are well off and the children lead happy, fulfilled lives. That is something truly worth cherishing, and no one wishes to disrupt such peace.
Now then, you have come regarding the matter of child, correct?
Well, yes. It appears the ever-busy Udex Neuvillette doesn't wish to waste time. Yes, as you surmised, understanding child's situation is indeed one of the goals of this trip. As we are both diplomats from Snezhnaya, as well as Fatui Harbingers, Child and I have always been colleagues. Were anything to happen in Fontaine, each of us would serve as the other's attorney to resolve the issue. So now, in my capacity as his attorney, I request that Child be turned over to Snezhnaya. We have a responsibility to cooperate with Fontaine and resolve what has happened to him together.
The rules governing attorneys only apply before a trial has concluded. Since a verdict has already been rendered, we see the case.
An outright refusal. Okay, why don't we back up a step? You don't need to transfer Child to us. I only request to enter the... It's not like you couldn't even manage to fulfill a simple request like that. Right, Miss Farina?
About that.
The fortress of Meropide has always been completely autonomous. Even we have no authority to interfere there, and diplomatic issues do not suffice as an excuse. However, if you absolutely must...